Movie Club Strikes Back, it's me Jenny, and this week's pick was Liam, aka Servatorix, link somewhere on screen, and he chose The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, and I really love this film. It's just, I can have so much praise for this film, going from a visual and production value stand. The production is gorgeous, the landscapes that were chosen are just so visually stunning that you want to go to these places. The direction is just brilliant. I don't know whether or not this is Ben Stiller's first film, or whether or not he's had one or two others, but it's definitely the first film that I know he's directed, and it's so well done. You can tell he has such a great handle over the camera, over the focus, what's in frame, who's in frame, camera movement, the shot where the helicopter's going up and we focus on the main character, and yet we're seeing and feeling how he's feeling at that moment, and it's just so well handled. Just the direction in this is just, the cinematography is gorgeous, the use of colour, the way that the first sequence is so blues and greys, and then our first bit of colour is the explosion in the fantasy sequence, and then there's lots of reds that pop on screen, particularly the life sign, and the dresses that some of the characters wear. Like the first, I think, real warm colour you see is when he meets his sister and she's wearing pink, and it shows that he kind of, Walter has this sort of almost maybe jealousy of her. She is eccentric and weird, but she has colour, she has life, and it's such, the pinks and reds seem to be so important in this. The pinks and reds, the first colours come in and then it goes into yellows, and then we progress into a more active colour palette after that, and just the way that the colours used in this is so beautiful. As I said, the landscapes are stunning. The music is gorgeous, and it's so well interworked with the shots. I'm not really a musical person. I'm the sort of person who finds a song or an album or an artist that I really like and listen them to death. But I was really proud that I could recognise Jose Gonzalez in this film, and his work is just so well done. It fits so well with the mood of this, where it's very inspiring, it's beautiful, it just works so well for the cinematography of this, and it's almost like they were choreographed together, the shots and the music, and it's really, really well handled. It's very uplifting, it's very beautiful. Where else? Going from just visual metaphors that I loved, the first sequence, everything is square. The main character is a square. He has a square life, a very rigid structure to his life. He checks off his payments and everything every single day, and the visuals in the first two scenes are just so square. Everything is square, in the background, in the foreground. There's even a moment where there's a shot of a bridge, and they cut off the bottom of the cars, so the frame is just above the cars, so you get the car windows but not the bumpers of the cars, so everything is square. And there's little things like that, they're just so potent. Similarly, he works at life, and that in itself tells you about his character. He doesn't live life, he doesn't love life, he works at it. He works at life, and he hasn't found it in a way. And so it's just the way that the life signs pop up on screen, and as red is the first colour to come up on screen, really, and it's a warm colour in equivalent to this very cold colour, and it just screams on the screen, so you can see life. And all of the way that words are used throughout this, the way that they've like put a text into a mountain and just slowly situate particularly the motto for life in and out, it's so well done. It's a really good theme. There's a lot of story elements that I really, really like in this, particularly there's the concept of enchanted objects. A lot of these objects that he carries around have more than one value. There is obviously the photo, there is the wallet, there is the backpack, the skateboard, the piano. All of these have multiple meanings and focusing on the plot and just circulate things. And there's even really minor objects like the ring on the thumb that just bullet point the story, so you can jump back and forth in terms of clues, and really get a feeling for kind of a magical world without it being magical, which gets into the concept of this, which is a character that fantasises like we all do, and then has to go out into the world. And it's just beautiful the point that cinematography is at, and animation and direction is at, where we can pretty much recreate fantasies, where we have that moment where we wish we'd say that snappy line, and that's simple enough to do with the cinematography, but then to go into giant explosions and fight sequences, that's a whole other level. And the fact that we're getting close enough with cinema to be able to recreate just the moments where our imagination pops is just extraordinary. And I love the way that the colours change. I love how there are mostly points in this where you can really distinctly tell where reality is and where non-reality is, and yet there are points where it's a little bit confused, and there is a really nice feeling I got at the end where what actually happens in the real life I think is a little bit preposterous. I don't think the ending would have happened like it did. It is a very beautiful ending, but I'm not exactly sold on the concept of what the actual final photo is. But the fact that the non-reality moments were so extreme at the beginning, it grounds this beautiful ending in a reality that I can believe, which is quite surprising, but I really love that sort of upturn at the end. I just love this. The music, the cinematography, the acting throughout is really, really well done. I've said it before, comedic actors, if they can make you laugh, they can make you cry, because in order to make someone laugh, you have to understand people, you have to understand what makes them tick, and you have to have that level of empathy that not necessarily dramatic actors have to have, because you can just heighten the emotion. And it's just, there's a level of empathy that you get with comedic actors that you don't often get with others, and there's also a surprise factor. You're not expecting them to make you cry, so they can really get into your mind. I didn't cry during this film, but it was very emotional at the right points. Also, comedic actors have the advantage and disadvantage that because they are sold in on their talent and their charisma, they don't necessarily have to be the most beautiful people. That's not to say beautiful people can't be funny, and that's not to say that ugly people can't be, you know what I mean. But there's just a level of groundedness in characters that aren't these pristine, symmetrical, gorgeous pinnacles of the human being. And that's not to say the actors in this aren't attractive in their own right, but there is a level of human intrigue because they look very much like how you would meet someone else in real life. I think the only fault I can find with this film, other than the fact that the ending perhaps is a little bit unrealistic, but you know, some of the normal life things in this are a bit unrealistic, so I don't mind, is that there is a lot of systems and technology in this that will not be as effective in 10 years. This film is not timeless. The concept is timeless, the acting is timeless, but eHarmony, all of this phone technology, everything in this that grounds it in a strange sense of reality and puts it right in the here and now won't be relevant in 10 years, and that makes me sad because there's so many things in this that are gorgeous and timeless and I would love to look at in 10 years again. Like the skateboarding scene is just extraordinary. It's so well done. It's very funny in the right places, which is timeless in its own right, but there's definitely things in this that won't age well, and that makes me sad. And that's about it. I've rambled on for way too long. I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover, and if I haven't, oh well. For me, the reason why I was so nervous about watching this film is it's one of those films that either really shines a light on the problems in your life and makes you feel disappointed in your life, or inspires you. And for me, I'm half and half at this point. I half want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and watch the sunrise and then bike and then jump in a river, and I also half know that tomorrow morning I'm just going to roll over and I'm going to wake up late and then go to work. So, you know, it's one of those films that will really shine a light on your life as it is, and hopefully it'll inspire you. And thank you so much for the pick, Liam. Next week's pick is Christina, I think. Link somewhere on screen to her channel, and of course to the We Are Movie Club channel. And there we go. I will see you all very soon. Bye guys.